Welcome back, rankers. Well, it has been a big week for SEO. Well, for stories anyway. And a very big week for Interflora. Interflora in the UK found out that paid backlinking does actually work. Yes, it works. If you go out and buy a lot of backlinks, you will get ranked high until Google works it out, and then you get slapped really hard, and now they're basically not ranking for anything that they need to. This was revealed by a couple of different SEOs around the world, but the best story, I think, is from the davidnaylor.co.uk website. And they've done an in-depth analysis of what happened. Basically, it looks like Interflora in the UK was going out and buying advertorials in the lead up to Valentine's Day. And all the advertorials were about Valentine's Day. And what's an advertorial? Well, back in the newspaper days, when I was used to work in newspapers, you know, some clients just didn't want to buy ads. They thought, you know, having an advertorial, having a story, you know, an advertisement that, you know, it looks like an editorial, was going to help their business more. And, you know, the editors always used to put, this is an advertorial, meaning it's a paid story. So Interflora basically did that across a lot of different news sites in the UK. What was Google's response? Well, they basically demoted the page rank of interflora.co.uk and also all of these different news sites. And some of the numbers are quite extraordinary. Like, for instance, if you look at this story, we've gone from the Border Telegraph went from a PR6 to a PR0. Now, PageRank applies to a page, not a site. Okay, so every individual page has its own page rank. But when we go to this site here, well, it's really slow, so it shouldn't really have a high page rank anyway. So we're going to the site, it's still loading, still loading, still loading, but you can see up here, even before the site is loaded, that it now has a page rank of 0. Now, that will flow through to the rest of the site, all the other pages, because typically the home page will link to somehow through different menus or sitemaps, all the other pages in the site. It's the doorway, right? So usually your home page will have the highest page rank. If that gets put down to 0 from a PR6, you all Border Telegraph. Yeah, it's not responding. Let's kill that page. Then all your other pages are going to lose page rank automatically, because page rank, let's not forget, is made up of the page rank of other pages that link to your page. Make sense? So if your main page is a page rank of 0, then you are not going to get anything really coming up in Google. So there was, I don't know, 50 to 100 different news sites, something like that. Massive amount. And the upshot of it all is that it did work temporarily. But what happened is that Interflora's SEO company didn't do it in a very smart way. They got all of these links in a hurry. Now look, paid backlinks is a really, it's not a grey area as far as Google's concerned, but it is a grey area as far as the rest of us are concerned. For instance, what happens if I go out and sponsor all the local sporting clubs in my area? I'm a plumber and I just want to get ranked for plumbing in my local area for when people type in the suburb name. Good way to do it would be to go out and sponsor all these sporting clubs and say, hey, listen, can you just write a little thank you on your website and give me a backlink, please? That's a paid backlink, right? Because you're paying for them to do something in their backlinking. But then by the same token, you know, as many other SEOs have reported, Google sends out products to different bloggers and those sorts of things to get reviews done on them, and they get backlinks from that. And the bloggers don't seem to get penalised, as all these newspapers have for advertorials. So it's something that Google struggles with a lot. And you know, we all want good search results. We all want our results to be really relevant to what we're typing in. And certainly paid backlinks has been a way for information to get to the top of the search results that isn't that relevant. The other thing that could be done that could also be construed as a paid backlink, well, what about if you're a budding web developer and you just want to do a few pro bono websites for high page ranked .orgs out there, or charities out there that might have a huge following and a huge page rank, and you do the website for free and you get a backlink. That's kind of a paid backlink. What about all those web developers out there that say this website was designed by backlink? Well, they built the website, presumably they paid for it, and part of the deal was that they got a backlink. That's a paid backlink, isn't it? But Google doesn't seem to care about those. So what's the moral of the story here? Well, if you're going to do a paid backlink, you've got to be really, really clever about it and work out a way where Google can't actually find out that it is a paid backlink. So in the instance of bloggers, for instance, bloggers are, popular bloggers are sent reviews to do things, and they review them and presumably give backlinks. But here's the catch. Google doesn't know if that company is paying that blogger to do that. It's just a backlink. But when you go out and buy things called advertorials, well, they're obviously paid for, and you buy a lot of them, and you buy them in a hurry, and they just go bang, and they're everywhere. Google's going to slap you pretty hard because you've been pretty stupid about the way that you've gone about to get those backlinks. So there's a number of ways that you can get backlinks, but at the end of the day, all of them will involve some sort of value transaction, unless you're just talking about directory submissions and that sort of thing. But the idea of the sporting clubs or the local community groups, the idea of doing pro bono work, there's a value transaction in all of those things. And the idea of a backlink from Google's perspective is like, oh, it's a citation for that organisation. Well, the newspapers or the companies doing the editorials probably thought, yeah, Interflora, let's link to them because they're paying us money. I'd vote for someone paying me money. So that's kind of a vote of confidence because they're giving you money. But you can't do it so blatantly as interflora.co.uk does it. Now, we haven't seen anything in the Australian landscape with paid backlinks, but there are still a few news outlets out there doing paid backlinks. There's also a lot of newspapers in the US that automatically publish press releases. Now, we don't know whether they're paid or not. But what happens here is that if you're participating in getting paid backlinks in a way that Google can work out that they're paid, you're going to get punished, and the site that is selling you that backlink is going to get punished. So there's plenty of, I know of at least one .org.au, which is a pretty hard sort of domain to register under, is doing what I would think is possibly paid backlinks because they're linking to sites that are ostensibly nothing to do with the topic of the association of that website. Essentially, they're a political organisation and they're linking to lots of, or I should say a political bookshop, and they're linking to home loans, florists, and doing these blog posts that have got nothing to do with the bookshop. And you read them and you think, this looks like a paid backlink. Now, Google has no way of knowing whether they're paid or not. No way of knowing. All it can look at is the topic and the content, and then someone probably will have to get involved physically, not just the algorithm, and have a look at that arrangement with the .org.au and say, well, this is weird. Now, in the case of Interflora, where it's so blatant, they can really slap you hard. They can take away your page rank because it's obvious. You're telling them, hey, I'm buying this backlink because it's an advertorial. Don't do it. And if you're going to buy backlinks, boy, you better be sure where you're buying them from and you can't get caught. And that is it for today's show. Good luck with that backlinking, and we'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.